Greetings, I'm Luz.
And I am Scandal.
And let's discuss a copyright strike together.
Yay!
We are trying to be in good spirits about this. Okay, so first things first, if you have come here because you've gotten your own Obey Me playthrough copyright strike and you are trying to get help, we will explain the best we can what's going on, what happened, and the most likely reason that you got struck.
Yes.
Because we did see while we were looking around after it happened to us that several other people have gotten a copyright strike.
So yes, spoilers, we got a copyright strike.
We did! Alright, so secondly,
what happened?
If you are one of our subscribers or viewers and you're following this series, we did stop posting videos because we got a copyright strike.
Yes!
So, what happened?
Yes, absolutely. So what happened is basically, yes, we got another copyright strike. So this makes, the first one was from Nyx Hydra, and the second one now is from NTT Solmare for the Obey Me series, right? So total for us, that means, unfortunately, right now we have
nearly 200
strikes, and that means one strike for every 100 subscribers.
So basically, every time we're going to hit a 100 subscriber landmark, we're going to get a copyright
That's
strike.
how this works. So support us, you guys. We're going to get the channel taken down here real fast. All right,
we checked out, as soon as we got the strike, we checked out the terms of service. While I was writing to the company, because they didn't send us any notification or anything, we just got the strike. My good friend Scandal
I did some research, so we actually went and looked it up because we didn't think to look it up, so that was kind of a bad thing on our part. However, they responded really promptly and really politely, and they actually pointed us towards the TOS that I had already vaguely seen, and I had kind of, like we had discussed a little bit before they'd shown up, after we'd sent the email, and then they responded going like, hey, this is probably what happened, like what we think what happened. So we think the answer, which will be important to all y'all who are trying to figure out why your videos keep getting taken down, there is a part underneath basically sharing the videos.
Okay, so derivative works. They specifically have, like, their terms of service is really clear and very
nice,
pleasant to read and very easy to get through and just very, very concise.
Yes.
And the term we feel that is going to cause most people the problem and caused, we believe, us the problem is
that, quote, uploading images or stories of our games to websites, personal blogs, or SNS, which, if you guys don't know, we actually had to learn as well, is actually the Japanese/Asian usage term for social media outlets, basically. So for like YouTube
social
social networks. So like YouTube or TikTok or any of that other stuff.
Facebook.
Like anything that's a big social media platform, right? For the primary objective of viewing the content.
Yes.
So that, what does that mean though for us? And probably also for you. What happened is that to them, because what you've done is upload, and what we've done is upload like complete chapters, which is the thing that they're talking about going, you cannot do.
I'll say under it, when they say, for the primary purpose of sharing the content, they say such as spoiling plots and sharing chapters.
Yes.
But that doesn't mean that is only those things. Those are just examples of what could be primarily for story sharing.
Yes, which for us is actually going to be a little bit different because
that hasn't been our primary purpose
at all. Okay, so if you don't know anything about us, welcome. Hi, nice to meet you. I am Scandal, and and my friend over here, she is Lies. The thing is that we like to review basically app games, and our point and purpose for reviewing specifically the Obey Me series was because we wanted to do a story and review. We wanted to critique it. We wanted to do some literary analysis.
Specifically, we had done the Arcana, which allows you to have flexibility with your main character.
Right.
And this is another one that claims flexibility with your main character. And so that you can have, basically, they say there's no genders, no ages, you can pick.
Right.
And so we picked, and we wanted to see also how well the story held up to putting an unexpected protagonist in there. Because based on the views of these boys, you're probably expecting either someone that looks a little more like them or is more like the age they present at, kind of thing. In fact, one of the people we knew was like, it's of course school age, kids, it has to be. And we're like, yeah, well, no. So we took a middle-aged boomer man, nice retired gentleman of 65.
Yeah, right.
And, a white boy. And we put him in there to see if the game could be as flexible as it had claimed, since we had just played another game that claimed strong flexibility.
Yes.
So those were all factors in choosing this game. Plus, we also thought it would be really fun and funny and allow a lot of opportunity for interpretation because there's so many people in it.
And also a lot for basically review and analysis, which is what we were trying to do. This was, I will say explicitly again, we were not intending to share this series to just share the series. This was literally going like, people are talking about this, let's see what it's about. App games are a big part of people's life, and so are a lot of like basically dating games, and they tend to go towards a certain audience. An audience that we in some ways are very connected to and also feel very much like going, where like
I feel like the media needs more talking about
yes.
and more attention. Also, if you have been following our series, or if anyone showed up at our series specifically to see the story, I feel for them because we will stop on one piece of dialogue for 10 minutes sometimes.
I know!
They're not seeing the story.
This is again where I'm going, like, to me, well, yeah, okay, you could turn the sound down and, like, speed it up, but that's also a very deliberate choice. And really, we are sometimes getting through a chapter in an episode that's 20 minutes long.
That's
true. A lot of speed up that you've got to do to deal with us chattering.
Plus, your pacing's going to be so uneven.
Oh,
on
God,
those
it's
screens.
so wild. Okay, so
anyway.
Again, though, the other reason, though, we also chose, though, to do this series was because we noted that it didn't have any paid or locked off content.
Right.
Which was actually an issue that we had from our first strike with the Arcana series by Nyx Hydra. So we went, hey, what's a series that seems like it would be popular, seemed like it'd be kind of fun? Let's go do Obey Me. And it sounds interesting.
And it doesn't have any content that absolutely everyone isn't privy to.
Right.
So, because unlike in other games, and there's been several Otome games or dating games that we've played that have paid scenes with a premium currency to pay into them. This one doesn't have any of that, so it seemed like a really good bet. Like, we did our basically outside extrapolation research, but we didn't go deep enough.
We didn't go deep enough because you know it's one of those things where you start realizing socially. You go, it's an app game. It's free for everyone to basically interact with, and unless it's basically paid or like a paid thing. So like we've played also like the Masm games, where they actually really clearly, explicitly state in their series of going like, if you're gonna do this, you can stream up to like I remember with the one with Jekyll and Hyde. They say very specifically you can only stream up to basically chapter 2, and you can't do any of the extra stuff, and that's all you get.
And it was really nice.
It was fantastic. Like, super props to them. I wish more game companies would do that.
Right, like if the game companies didn't want you sharing through like streaming or, Let's Plays or whatever, and perhaps they just aren't like basically aware that people will want to share this kind of content.
Right.
That kind of thing. Maybe they're just not basically in with the idea that people are going to go, hey, I like this, I want to share it, especially in the sense of dating games, because a lot of people go, it's personal to me. And the writing of it is personal to you. Kind of thing. But it's really nice when companies do that. So we've gone like, Mazim was super friendly, like in game they actually tell you what their standards are. Right. And then the TOS for Solmare was very explicit, which was super nice. And just sort of stepped down the line for basically how easy it is to know what you can and can't do.
Right. So again, to reiterate this really quickly, so probably if again you're here for wondering what happened with your copyright strike, most likely it is that basically tiny little section of going like you were just uploading videos, just upload them and share them with people on the big, huge, major platforms. They say it's fine. So, but go read the terms of service yourself.
They say it's not fine if your primary purpose is to spoil the story or the plot.
Yes.
So if you're going, I am sharing these to specifically go, hey, look at this piece of plot. What a twist.
Right.
They don't want you doing that.
Right. Which, to us, we do not feel like we have been trying to do that at all.
Nor has it been our primary focus.
No, not at all. So, now what is the movement we're going to take for ourselves?
No!
Okay, so we are actually going to wait. We decided that once we returned their last email, after they really promptly got back to us, again, super appreciative with that, we asked basically in that email, though, for us to be reviewed and considered as not violating their TOS, because we do not feel like that's what we're trying to do. I don't feel like it, because I gotta tell you guys, like, there's a level of, like, kind of, like, personal frustration that I've been having going, like, yes, this game has been interesting with some of its points, but I keep feeling like we're also reiterating a lot of points, basically about character or structure or plot.
The complexity of the story feels not complex.
Yes.
It feels very simple, and in a lot of ways, they do sort of go over things several times, the exact same stuff, and there have been several times where we've been like, what is this? Additionally, we are really breaking down the actual functional structure of the game, and how that game relates to the story, whether or not we've got ludonarrative dissonance, and the actual, like function of essentially, like, our DDD platform and the cards in reference to the literal world that we're in. And they actually have in canon now said those things are there. So we're like, how is Man, our main protagonist, actually interacting with those cards, and what does that look like? And is he literally summoning demons out of his phone kind of thing?
Right.
Like, so anyways, there's a lot of questions.
Yes, so we'll see where we're going to go with that. So we're really just going to be waiting. So
when they get back to us, we will let you guys know.
Yes, absolutely. But in the meantime, again, beyond the waiting and waiting for them to respond, we are going to try to find basically another series to either fill in for it currently, or just sort
just
of
to also do.
Just to also do.
Yep.
The big idea at this point is this, that we would really like it if you guys are able to. If you could make maybe some recommendations for games that we could play where their terms of service don't have stuff like this.
Yes, where they're not going to be limiting us from what we share, or if they do, it's very clear what the limitations are.
It's very explicit, because that's been obviously the biggest frustration that we've had, and that was, for example, like the issue that we had with Nyx Hydra of going, they're not very clear in their terms of service.
So we do also have wishlist games that, as far as we know, are safe.
Yes.
So if you want to go look at our Ko-Fi, you can see that we have like basically goals and wish list on there, kind of like, here's some games. If we get this amount of donation, we'll just use it to straight out buy the game and we'll play it.
Right.
Kind of thing. So other than that, if you want to direct us to a game that you think our particular stylings would be fun on, or that we might enjoy, then we would appreciate that as well.
Yes, absolutely. So thank you very much, guys, then, for joining us. We appreciate your support and all the time that you spend with us. We really want to have this be a good time for us and also other people who are trying to play these games.
We do.
We think that it's really important that, even as we're a very small channel, to actually still try to support each other. This is what we're here for.
Additionally, we are at the very beginning, and again, of our journey as YouTubers, and in like a very small space. But nonetheless, we have really enjoyed a lot of the thoughtful comments and interactions, and even like fun jokes and observations that people have contributed. It has been a really fascinating community experience that, for me, I've never been involved in anything like it before. So it's really cool.
It's really kind of neat. We really appreciate it. So anyway, I have been Scandal.
And I have been Lies.
And it was great playing with you. Bye!